Bok Tower Gardens, a National Historic Landmark and Central Florida attraction, is located on more than 200 acres of land on the north side of the city of Lake Wales. Bok Tower Gardens has been visited by more than 23 million people since its opening in 1923. The gardens feature a 12-story, 205-foot-high, majestic singing tower which sits on land at an elevation of 298 feet above sea level. The gardens were established by Mr. Edward Bok, a Pulitzer Prize-winning author and editor of the Ladies' Home Journal. Mr. Bok, awed by the area's tranquility during his summer visits from Pennsylvania, decided to transform the area to one second to none. Mr. Bok commissioned Mr. Frederick Law Olmstead, Jr., who designed enhancements to the area. He had thousands of loads of soil and more than 11,000 live oaks, azaleas, palms, and magnolias imported to the site. President Calvin Coolidge dedicated the singing tower to the American people on February 1, 1929. From 2013 through 2015, the gardens raised more than $15 million for its largest expansion in 85 years. As a part of the expansion, preservation of the historic elements which existed for decades required careful planning and engineering to minimize construction impacts. As the lead record civil and environmental engineering firm, Pennoni collected 3D data of the site in order to prepare planning exhibits, conceptual, base, and infrastructure design drawings. Pennoni used advanced design tools such as AutoCAD Civil 3D, digital terrain models, and hydrologic models to prepare designs which preserve and refine the recreational, historic, and environmental conditions. Pennoni conducted retrofit design work such as the new walkable, accessible, recreational area paths. In addition, Pennoni provided engineering designs and infrastructure support which were used to construct a number of elements such as the new children's garden, the outdoor kitchen, the new man-made surface water, and the recirculation and artificial wetland treatment system. Pennoni also prepared permit applications for state and local improvement approvals. Pennoni assisted in construction administration and post-construction work to include data collection and system evaluations. Pennoni also collaborated with Bok Tower Gardens representatives to assist in transforming the Bok Tower concepts to constructible elements. Pennoni provided planning and engineering assistance for the new core garden entrance area, which was redesigned with safe accessible walkways, imported coral seating walls, a new cafe expansion, and a new shuttle path. The new entrance area enables all guests, including those with limited mobility, to have a more immersive garden experience. This includes a convenient shuttle path with a pickup and drop-off area to the singing tower. These areas were carefully surveyed and designed by Pennoni using a 3D digital terrain model for slope accessibility compliance, runoff protection assurance, and minimization of soil vegetation disturbance. Pennoni's engineering and planning included the design of a gentle grade from the Visitor Center building to a spectacular new special events oval lawn with a 700-foot perimeter, 10-foot wide walk which connects guests at the new Visitor Center Cafe and Pollinator Garden to the new outdoor kitchen, classroom, children's garden, and wild garden. Pennoni performed the surveying and engineering for more than 8,000 linear feet of paved accessible paths throughout the core gardens. The paved paths lead visitors throughout the magnificent garden to experience and explore the many intimate areas and the singing tower. Civil 3D CAD was used to create digital terrain models to ensure slope compliance, increase subsurface root protection, and to carefully preserve the sensitive mix of native exotic plants selected by Mr. Olmstead Jr. and Bok Tower Gardens staff. This work included engineering effort to maintain the historic overland flow, site grades, cultural conditions, and historic beauty of the natural environment and wildlife habitat. Because there is no central wastewater conveyance and treatment system within more than a mile of the gardens, Pennoni designed the area's largest on-site, low-pressure, dosing sewage treatment and disposal system. This system was designed to treat the wastewater from the visitor center and the new classroom restrooms. This system replaced a much smaller conventional anaerobic system, which distributed the effluent unevenly into its drain field. This new, more innovative treatment method disperses the effluent under pressure evenly throughout the entire distribution system. It uses a controlled dosing and resting discharge approach. This approach improves the likelihood of a cyclical aerobic-anaerobic treatment of the effluent. It is the area's largest low-pressure disposal system with a 9,000 square foot application area and 1,500 feet of 1-inch distribution piping. The advantages are it reduces the potential of clogging of the soil, improves evapotranspiration, increases the potential of nitrification and denitrification, and is able to handle peak flows better than the original system. Alongside the architectural firms of Nelson Bird & Waltz, Lake Flato, Parlier Cruz, and Sally Coyle, Pennoni provided the design and permitting assistance for the supporting infrastructure for the new classroom building, outdoor kitchen, edible garden, and restroom facilities. Pennoni's design included the hardscape, grading, stormwater conveyance, water and sewer utilities, and handicap accessible conditions. All constructs were carefully engineered to blend in with the terrain, to preserve the existing landscape and the natural habitat while minimizing soil disturbance. These areas connect farm to table, showcasing gardening and the culinary arts, and are a welcoming destination for educational events. David Price, president of Bok Tower Gardens, has always stressed that keeping children in touch with nature is important for building confidence, independent spirit, critical thinking, and for environmental stewardship. The Children's Garden is a place of hands-on fun, natural beauty, learning, and creative play. Pennoni provided infrastructure engineering and permitting for the 4-acre multi-purpose children's garden and rainfall excess recharge area. Not only does this area function as an educational and recreational area, it was designed to retain the rainfall excess from the 100-year 24-hour storm event. It is an aquifer recharge and zero stormwater discharge system. It is designed to receive runoff from the majority of the core gardens and the expansion areas. It was hydrologically modeled using a surface water and groundwater interactive model to evaluate the extent of the floodplain in order to protect the surrounding dwellings and the infrastructure. The Children's Garden is for teaching conservation and the vital connection between animals, plants, and people. Among all of its amazing attributes, it contains beautiful art, cooling water features, a boardwalk, and a rich variety of vibrant plants which were carefully organized and coordinated by Nelson Bird & Waltz and Bok Tower's staff. As a part of the wildlife garden, Pennoni performed the design of a 450,000-gallon, 8-foot-deep man-made surface water, which provides habitat and an ecosystem for native plants and wildlife. One complexity to creating this system is that the surface water is greater than 75 feet below land surface. Therefore, in order to store and conserve water, an EPDM liner had to be designed. Another issue is that this system was to be installed within an existing forested area, and because of the obvious conflict between the existing tree roots and liner, delicate design work to minimize the impacts on the roots from excavation and liner installation were required. Pennoni also incorporated a root retardant biofilm to reduce the potential of the existing tree roots reaching the liner. Pennoni also designed a new state-of-the-art recirculation and filtration system that conveys water from this system through an adjacent artificial wetland with the intent of filtering out various bacteria and to reduce the potential of eutrophication in this surface water. Pennoni assisted in the design elements associated with the 8-acre wild garden, which is located in the northern area of the gardens. The wild garden is a haven and habitat for more than 170 different Florida common and endangered plants and wildlife. The wild garden showcases an oak hammock, wet prairie, and a sandhill preserve. There is also a walking path and a 170-foot boardwalk through a wetland and bog area, which each contain water-loving plants. The new artificial wetland was designed as a part of the water recirculation system, which conveys water from the on-site man-made surface water, or lake, through a pumping and microfiltration system. Water is then conveyed to the on-site artificial wetland, where it makes contact with the fired clay media before it is gravity-fed back to the surface water via overland flow. A special fired clay media developed by the University of Central Florida was installed in the artificial wetland for sorbing pollutants from the newly designed surface water. The purpose of the pollutant removal is to reduce the potential decline of the surface water. The wetland system uses a subsurface upflow and horizontal flow design to increase the exposure of the water to the media. By utilizing the microfiltration upland flow wetland system and a suite of locally adapted plant species, pollutants are removed from the water, thereby improving the water quality and reducing the potential of eutrophication.